My name is Stefan Brigati, and I've been investigating the paranormal for over 30 years. Come along with me and my team as we take a journey into the unknown. This is My Darkest Hour.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of My Darkest Hour. Great to see everybody. Well, hopefully virtually see everybody so you guys can see me. And this time I decided to start the show with the mute off, so it makes it a lot easier. I know you guys are trying to figure out what I was saying. And yes, it was a contest and I was giving away $1 million. No. But anyway, you guys figured it out. We got it worked out and the editing looked great. So anyway, moving on. You know, every year I do this Pacific Coast Paracon. You guys, we always talk about it, and a lot of you guys show up, and it's always wonderful. We have such a great time there, and I wanted to do this series of featuring some of the speakers that are going to be there, and especially the new ones that are joining us for the first time. And oh yeah, don't forget, here's Abby, my co-host. She wants to make sure everyone sees her and says hello. So this episode, we're going to feature an old friend of mine, Heather, and Heather, she is a psychic medium. I think I've had her on when I just doing the radio version like years and years and years ago of this show. But Heather Lynn, she's a psychic medium, and I really, really hope you guys get a chance to come by the show and introduce yourself to her, meet her, see what she does. You know, because a lot of people always say, well, psychics. Well, yeah, psychic is a generic term. That means somebody with abilities. Not psychics. They're not all the same. I mean, I'm surrounded by them all the time. And, you know, they have different things. You know, I never considered myself a psychic. And people over years and years like, well, dude, that qualifies because you talk to spirits and see spirits. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not, really. But whatever. Everybody has abilities. You just need to focus on them and fine tune them. Heather has some great, amazing abilities. She does readings and stuff. So I want to be able to bring her on the show right away so you guys can find out a little bit more about what she does and the way her approach is to being a psychic medium. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's bring her on the show. And there she is, everybody.
Hi.
Do you hear me okay? See everything okay?
Yeah, I can see everything okay.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm outside, but it's just better outside, I think.
You got a park or something?
Huh?
You got a park or something? Or you just at your house?
Oh, I'm just at my house. I just went outside because I think it's easier out here because my kid. So.
Yeah, makes it easier. Play right there.
Be
right
like, who's that?
Yeah. All right. So how you doing?
I'm doing well. I mean, I've worked with some interesting people over the years, for sure. The last one that amazed me, I was able to pull him out of a coma that they said he was permanently in with his wife, because his wife was the one that approached me and asked me to help out with that. Said that they told her basically that he was not going to make it. He wasn't going to ever come back or whatever. So she told me that he didn't come back. And I was like, okay, let me see if he was stuck in basically what he was stuck in was he thought he was still awake. I just took him out of that, basically. So basically still living life in a dream state.
Wow, that's got to be a strange situation. You go to sleep and you wake up expecting to wake up, and then like, how come no one's talking to me? What's going on?
Yeah.
Is everybody mad at me or something? No one's talking to me. That's got to be weird. So when you do something like that, you make contact with them, and you kind of go into their world. Like, what is it like when are you seeing what they're seeing? Are they showing you stuff? Are they talking to you? I mean, what is your
basically they show me around essentially what they see on what plane that they're on, because it really depends on what plane they're on. The dream plane is much different than obviously our wake state. So I mean, you can do a lot more in your dreams, though, as you know, or as most know.
Flying's a great thing. I love that in my dreams.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then there's a couple others that I've had over time that, one of them called me a wizard. I don't know what that was about.
Cool. Cool. That's a good
Yeah.
title. I mean, nice.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, I just call myself energy worker for the most part because I deal in energy of all kinds. It's basically every plane, you know, I'll go through,
But
and even with just looking at you, you can see all the energy attachments you have with people and other things. It's to things that you have attachments to and whatnot. There's little lines that I see that attach you to these things.
yes, and I'm tripping on them all the time as I'm running around some of these things. All those
Yeah.
attachments going on. So one of the best questions, and I think is one of the most versatile questions as well, is I like to start at the beginning. Like when you were you born psychic, and how was your development, and what were your parents thinking about this when you brought this to their attention?
Well, so my father didn't deal with it well while he was around, anyways, because he said I floated to the bathroom once. I was like, I
Oh,
don't remember that or recall that. So, with my mom, she used to call it the woo woo stuff. So she wasn't really for it. The woo woo stuff. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
so it
But
doesn't
yeah,
run in the family, basically. You have it on your own, or does it run?
my grandmother had something because every place she ever visited, there was a disaster.
Oh, wow.
And she would say, I think it just follows me or something. I'm like, ah. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's what
But
that's
I
what they do. If your energy shines really bright, they follow you like a candle. Like, okay, let's go this way, and everything's just
yeah.
with you.
Well, she was there for the tsunami over in Thailand and everything.
Oh no.
So I mean, she was in the disasters. Yeah, no,
Oh,
but she liked to travel, so there's that. I
wow,
like
that's
to
interesting.
stay, in one spot. No, but
So,
I think it came from dying at one point when I was younger.
well, tell us about that. That's interesting. And that's one of the things that people discover their psychic abilities sometimes after something traumatic happens. So, can you please tell us about that?
Yeah, I was like 4 or 5, and I had a grand mal seizure. My mom walked into me bleeding out of every orifice, so she obviously in panic, clearly, And then after that, I started having friends and stuff that she couldn't see. She called them imaginary friends at first, and she was just like, I don't think this is normal. Like, that person's not here. I don't know what you're talking about, Heather.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it started slowly but surely. It finally became more fine tuned when I met Steve, my friend Steve, because he was actually into this stuff and everything, and I was just lost on it. I was just like, I don't know. I walk down the street and the lights go off behind me when I'm pissed off, so I don't know what that is. And he's like, oh, I could tell you what that is. So
Yeah.
interesting, yeah. I'd say.
And that is interesting, and that's what's kind of interesting for your parents. Like, what's my kid talking about at this point?
Yeah.
They don't understand that. I got very fortunate and had a mom who was all into that stuff. She was part of the early
Oh man.
'70s resurgence of the spiritual movement that was going on. So I got lucky with that one. But I never thought it was weird. Oh, I didn't realize that people didn't see when I was a little boy, the Indians coming up from the basement and going and walking up into my sister's room. I never really reacted to that, and I never thought that was a weird thing
Yeah,
because
that's
they
the
didn't
thing is like when it
find it
happens when you're
scary.
younger.
They're like,
Yeah.
I'm a little kid, and they're coming up, and they're all nice and friendly and smiling and just taking off up into my sister's room and going into her closet or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
whatever. I
Yeah.
guess
You
not
don't.
everyone.
You feel it like it's a normal thing. Yeah, it's just like talking to somebody, face to face. It becomes like that for sure. You're
But
just like,
that's
I
cool.
didn't know that was. Yeah.
I think it's an advantage for a lot of people because you're connecting with those different energy sources that most people can't see. So you're getting more information and you're understanding what's happening in the environment. So that's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of my exes would agree with you because I have this thing with lie detector test when they're lying to me. And it's like, yeah, you're lying. So I don't know what you're lying about, but I'll figure it out. They get mad.
Yeah, yeah. My mom was like that. I
Yeah,
couldn't pull anything over my mom's eyes because she was always knew what I was doing. Trying to
yeah.
sneak in late at night, and she's just like right there. It's like, hi. It's like, oh, told
Something
you.
to look
I'm not
forward
doing
to.
it.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
that's okay. I learned a lot from her. So
Yeah. No, it's a good thing. I try to help my son out when he's having issues with some of these things because he doesn't understand like why he can't hug grandma anymore or why he can't, do certain things anymore. He's like, I can see them. Why can't I do
yeah,
anything with them? So I'm
yeah,
trying to help him out to understand that a little bit better because obviously it's not like hugging a person, you know. I mean, you still feel it because you
yeah.
still feel their feelings. Yeah,
I was gonna say you can still touch them. I mean,
yeah,
my mom does that to me all the time. If I'm like half asleep or whatever, she'll like hold my hand, just laying off the bed, and she just holds it, and then I come out of it, and my arm is just freezing cold from all that energy source. I'm like, ah. And I'll tell my wife, I'm like, oh, my mom was just here, and she goes, how do you
yeah.
know? I'll just reach over and put my hand on her, and she's like, what's going on? That's ice cold. Like, yeah. Mom says hi.
Yeah. Grandma's come a couple of times, but she only comes to bitch at me. So I'm sorry. That's how she is. No, she really is like
A
that.
lot of
She's
times it's
she's always
for
been.
holidays and stuff. We always go into the
Yeah,
end of the year with all the holiday season.
yeah,
Everyone's coming to visit.
yeah. No, she's
So
like that.
tell us about your first few experiences when you were a little kid and you were trying to. You said you had like imaginary friends and you're seeing people. What was like
Oh, so
something you really remember from that time?
the one imaginary friend I remember the most is she was a girl, and she used to live in the palm tree next to my house or whatever. And I used to hang out with her all the time, be playing, with the Barbies or whatever else with her. My mom was concerned because who am I talking to, stuff like that. But no, it's Brittany. I'm like, oh, it's Brittany. She's here. That was the first one. I realized later that she was trying to tell me that she died in a car accident. So I mean, I know that now. I know what she was trying to tell me back then. But it's like when you watch a cartoon, when you're a kid, and you watch it when you're older, you're like, wow, they got away with that joke. Like
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Of wow, I didn't catch that back then. Okay, well that sucks, but same
yeah, but
thing.
it's times change. Things that change the world around us all the time.
Yeah, for sure. There was
So
another experience when I was a teenager. Like I said, the lights thing, my watches would die on me all the time because we used to use watches to tell time, and stuff like that. They would stop on me and I couldn't figure out why. Like they would die after getting a new battery, pretty much, on specifically 12 o'clock. And I do recall that. So I'm not really sure still what that's about, but I'll figure it out.
12 o'clock. Why not? It's a good hour.
Yeah, lunchtime.
Yeah. Well, excellent. So what else have you been doing since you discovered your gifts? I know you do readings and stuff. Tell us about your approach when you're doing your reading.
Essentially, they have to pretty much tell me what they're looking for to accomplish because they really need to, how to explain it. It's essentially they need to tell me what it is they're trying to do. Are they trying to not be have anxiety anymore? Are they trying to, basically what are they trying to get done? Is essentially what I need to know at first. Obviously, that one lady was trying to get her husband out of the coma, but I'm saying like when it comes to actually what the person is trying to work on in themselves, because that's what I mostly help with is are you trying to be less depressed? Are you trying to work through something? Are you trying to, what I mean? It's essentially that. It's just working through whatever they're trying to work through. And obviously I tell them I cannot solve the problem, but I can help you with it. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor, so I can't do these things, but I can definitely help you with them. It's like taking medication, then go to the doctor, I guess, essentially.
Yeah. But you are
I
a
guess.
wizard,
I don't
so
know.
possibilities are
Yeah, I
endless.
guess that was the most interesting thing I've ever been called. I was like, I don't. Okay, sure.
I
Whatever you
mean,
need me to do,
whatever.
I guess.
Wizards do light work too, so whatever. I guess it's
Yeah,
a good title. I'm into that kind of stuff, Dungeons and Dragons and all that stuff. So why not?
yeah, yeah.
That's
It's
cool.
whatever you need
So,
me to be, I
so
guess, at the time.
yeah, people come to you basically for counseling. So you're more like a not like trying to give them professional advice, but you can help guide them. More of a guide, I would say, right?
It's more of a guidance thing, yeah. So basically, we go through your timeline to where these things started, and then we get rid of that energy that exists at this point, and then tell them when we're done working here, you're going to go through the emotions. And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Since you didn't work through it and you bottled it up, at this point, you're going to have to work through it now that we've grounded everything. It's now you have to work through it. You can't, just put it in the back of your mind anymore. It's you have to work through it." And you're gonna cry, and you're gonna, do whatever, get angry or whatever it is you need to do to work through that, emotion, because you can't set it aside forever.
Yeah.
It's,
A lot of people think you just bottle things up, but that bottle gets full,
yeah,
and sometimes you gotta get rid of it, start over. I mean, or just cleanse it out,
yeah,
because those things will always come back and get you, and hold you down.
they do seem to bite. That's
Yeah,
just
but
essentially,
you forget about them, but they're still there. So it's like, dude,
yeah,
move on. I don't have time for all that anymore.
yeah. They don't go away. I mean, people think they do, but they're just living life and ignoring it. But
Yeah,
sometimes we have to work through it, and it's like if you want to be better here, then you have to get rid of these, and you have to work through it. So that's just where we're at. So I guess counseling in the sense of you have to work through your emotions.
yeah. That's that's what it is. You're saying, okay, you're holding on to this. This is what's happening to you. I'm picking up on this. What are you gonna do with that? Why don't
Yeah,
you just get rid of it? You don't need it anymore. Move on.
yeah. As for the ones that call me and want to talk to like this lady that called about her death, okay, and then she was saying she needed to talk to him about a couple of things because she was in still a lawsuit or something at the time. I need this information, and I don't know where it is. He just died. So I told her what he had told me, and then I called her a flower or something because it was really hard. He was Romanian, so for me, I could still understand. It's going to be described to me in different ways when it's a different language. So he showed me a flower. I called her because she actually spoke English and everything, and she started to cry. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. You
Because
might
that's
not
what he
know.
used to call her, I guess.
You don't know what you're seeing and stuff, but once you start describing to them, they totally get it. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
wow, that's great.
They usually get it because they're just like, oh yeah, no, this is right here, this is right here. They're able to find what they're showing me when it's like I said, he was Romanian, so
At least you get through the
so
translation. I mean, that's
yeah, picture translation.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And you're like,
that's
what am I
essentially what
looking
it
at? What
is.
is this thing you're showing me? I don't understand.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah,
you got through it. You were able to tell her about the flower thing, and it really clicked with her. So that's good.
yeah. So he called her his little flower or something, so that's why she started to bawl. I was like, okay. So they work through it in the same aspect of working through their emotions, but it's in a different way. It's grieving, technically.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you're going through just regular everyday life, because we all have everyday lives that we have to do, and you come across people that might have some kind of something with them, or a spirit might be trying to make contact, and they see that, oh, okay, here's a light worker. I can just contact her. Maybe she could relay the message. Like, how often does that happen to you when you're just going through your everyday life?
It happens quite a bit. It's just I can't do it all the time, unfortunately, because not everybody's going to be accepting of that. You know what I mean? Like just out on the street and whatnot. So I mean, I get the feeling of who I can tell and who I can't, and then it's essentially that's where it is. Because some people
Yeah.
take big offense to it. Just to be honest, they're just like, "Oh, that's devil work." I'm like, no, it's
Oh, totally.
yeah.
Especially, I see a lot of that right now. People are really clinging on to their beliefs and putting up a stance. It's like, well, you don't understand what we're talking about, but they're like, no, anything out of the norm is just
Yeah. Now
scary
they
to
think
them
it's
and what their
the
beliefs
devil
are.
whispering in your ear and stuff, and I'm just like, wow. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like him. He's got a different
Yeah.
voice.
I'm
Yeah,
just like I help people where I can. I'm pretty sure that's not what the devil would want, but hey, okay.
yeah, and they preach at you like that, like you're just gonna stop. Okay, I won't
Yeah.
do this anymore. It's like I
Yeah.
didn't do this to myself, but yeah,
Essentially, yeah. Uh, when people are ready to talk about that kind of stuff, then I can. I will. But when they're not, it's just like, okay, you're not on that level for sure.
yeah, you don't have to talk about it now or whatever, but you met me, and if there anything ever changes, get a hold of me, blah blah blah. Because that's what you
Yeah.
gotta do. You gotta leave it open ended and say, okay, I'm gonna do my thing. I appreciate your beliefs or whatever, but this is what I do, and I don't think you understand, but that's okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
I
The
had to
other
do
thing that I do is I
what's
will
that?
respect somebody's religion when I'm working with them. I'm just like, okay, so this is your belief, so we'll work with your belief. Basically, how you're going to get better, like for you, how you're going to help yourself get better is you're going to go to church and you're going to do everything you do at church, and it's essentially you help yourself this way because that's what you put all your energy into. So it's the only way you're going to be able to help yourself. Just to be honest about it.
Yeah. Now, when they tell you their religious beliefs or their background, do you kind of you listen? Do you try to tap into some of those energies and maybe work with that with them?
Yeah, no, I'll use what they believe to, I basically bring that energy up, make them feel like, feel that energy because when you're in church, I definitely have felt that energy because so many people are putting that energy out there. You know what I mean? So I bring that energy to the table for them. And then I'm just like, this is how you're going to, help is to essentially keep doing what you're doing.
Yes. Plus, I think it gives them a sense of comfort as well. We're not going out of
Yeah.
their safety zone. You know.
No, I'm not going to say, oh, your religion sucks or whatever. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I would never
Just
do
going to be
that.
like,
I believe everyone has their right and to believe whatever they want, and it's great, and hope it works for them. I hope they just do it
yeah,
smartly. Just learn about it,
yeah,
because it's all intertwined. All these things are all intertwined. So it's like learn about it, learn how to utilize that to help your life. That's the best part.
yeah. No, I mean, like people don't understand that, waking up in the morning is your energy. You know, uh, Doing anything throughout the day is your energy. You're using your energy throughout the day. So, I mean, that's what I work with. So,
That's
if you wake
perfect.
up, there's energy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So what
And
about
then
your
some of
your
my
family and friends? Do your family and friends ever just like pull you aside and ask you to do readings for them?
some of them will. It's funny because one of my best friend's mom will actually do it a lot. She'll reach out and be like, I need, like, what guardian do I have, or what's happening, or whatever. She'll reach out for random things, not like a reading or anything, but just who's my guardian. I'm
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's funny.
like, okay.
I used to get that from my
Well,
mom's
I think it's easier to
cousin.
work with your guardian when you know their name or you know what they are. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why she wanted to know how to work with it.
Yeah, so you know who you're calling upon if you really feel like you need to be there. I totally get that.
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
awesome. So what else is new for you? Like, what have you been up to? I haven't talked to you in like for years, literally. So I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
when I asked you, I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to Heather in a long time. Let me bring her on the show and let's talk.
I went to a couple of houses to do demon sweeping and whatnot. I've done a couple of mental institutions.
Those
You
are
know, when it
always
came
fun.
to, yeah, no, there's always some interesting spirits stuck there that want to stay there. They don't really want to leave. So, okay.
Well, sometimes that's all they know is that place.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was their environment for a long time, and they just get stuck not knowing what else there is,
yeah.
which is sad.
It is, but I think I get across to a lot more than I leave behind. So I think that's better. I don't know. I try my hardest when it comes to working with them to move on. So, I mean, there's
Absolutely.
that.
Well, in a mental institution, it's got to be kind of tricky because their psyche is still wound up in thinking random things like they were when they were alive. So it's like, how do you really get through to that? Because now you're not just a communicator, you're also their doctor, so to speak, because
Yeah,
you're with them and their psyche to understand what's happening. So you might be able to make it help them make sense of what's happening around them.
yeah. No, essentially, so what I've noticed so far with working with those spirits is they are in the dream state. They're stuck in the dream state. So they think that they're dreaming. They don't think they're dead. So I'm just like, okay, well, here's the thing: is that I'm alive, and there was one time I actually cut myself to show them that I bleed. I'm like, "Do you bleed?" And they didn't bleed, and they realized they were dead. So sometimes
Yeah,
just talking them into and then they're dead.
that's got to be a big shocker for them. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I went out for a big long walk this morning. I'm not dead. It's like, yeah,
yeah.
but you haven't been
Imagine
hungry in a
being dead
while.
for that long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, no,
I mean,
those are interesting cases for sure. Um, the demon houses and whatnot, like they're just you got to ground them in the crystals and whatnot because there's no talking to them really. I mean, you can, but you may have doing more worse. You know what I mean? Than just get them out of there.
yeah. There's no real negotiating. It's not a
No,
coexistence kind of thing. It's like, really, oh,
they're
you're a
there
nice
to feed
demon.
on the
Oh, okay. It's
people.
like, dude, come on.
Yeah, they're
Leave me
like, "What
alone.
do you have for me? What do you have for
Yeah,
me?" Like, I'm feeding on these people right now. Like, oh, okay, yeah, no, there's no negotiations.
yeah. You just gotta get them out. They can't be staying at your house. It's time to go. They're
Yeah.
not paying rent, so just get them out. So what's your approach when you're doing that? Like I do some drumming and stuff, and we do a couple of obviously we do the sage burning and stuff like that. Like, what's your approach when you're trying to clear a house?
So when I walk into the house, they tell me what they've been experiencing. Right? They tell me their spiel, their story, whatever they're experiencing. This last one that I dealt with, his whole family had moved out because it was that bad. Like they left him behind, and he wanted to stay there because they didn't want to just leave their house. So essentially, I walked in and I basically do a first round of energy putting my feelers out there to see what exactly is there, how many are there, what they're trying to accomplish, what they've been doing. So that one just got the son very angry, and it fed on his anger, and it like he got to the point where they might have to put him in an institution type deal. So that's why they moved him away from the house. Um, and then after that, if once I get my feelers out and I see what I'm dealing with, then I trap it inside of the crystals that I have on hand. And then basically later on, I have to go to round that's uh, blessed, you know what I mean, to get them to go back home, not here. But that's later on after. But this one, I was able to trap them in my crystals, and then we did the saging after because I did go with the ghost group. They're the ones that called me, and they did the saging after. But one of the guys was still like skeptical. He told me the story about how he got into a car accident with not a car. There was nothing there, but he saw a car, and nobody saw this car that he crashed into. And he told me that he's had a backache ever since. He's been to chiropractors, doctors, everything. And I'm just like, okay, turn around. So I basically touched his back and I pulled out the energy and grounded it. And he's like, it's gone. How did you do that in 5 seconds? I'm like, it's just energy. It's just, I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know. It's just pulling out the energy that doesn't belong.
It's like taking out a leash that's holding on your back. You just got to kind of remove it. It's like, okay, here you go. This was on you.
Yeah.
Kind of get rid of it. So what?
But he was amazed, and he's like, she has to go everywhere we go.
Right. Or if they pay you enough for it in your time, then all good. But that's cool to be able to help someone like that on the fly. It's just like, what? How does that just happen?
Yeah. But yeah, that house was clear after that, and the family moved back, and I didn't hear back, so it's a good thing, right? When you don't hear back.
That's awesome. You know what's interesting is when doing house cleansings and stuff like that, and people who've gone through that experience, when you meet them for the first time, they always seem like they're terrified because, of course, they don't know what's going on, and it's the unknown. And when you got all this social media, these streaming services, it's all everything's scary. Oh, monsters. This is what's going on. And then you help them with it. You help them resolve the problem, and life's better. That always strikes that interest then. How many people have I helped over the years who dive straight first into the paranormal, wanting to know more, learning more? They get really good at it, and they teach other people. So it's like this whole wavelength of people sharing that knowledge with other new people.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing, I think, to get it out there more, because obviously other people could do this. If I could do this, anybody could do this, right? It's just sitting down and actually doing the work to do it.
Yeah, and that's it. You got to sit down and have the patience and be calm, really focus on what's going on around you. Today's society is just so fast-paced and crazy all the time. It's hard to really just quiet everything and focus on your inner self and the energies around
you. Yeah. So I do find recently, any client that's come up to me recently is going to be more depressed about what's going on in society today. So I'm just like, okay, well, that's just how it is right now. And
maybe don't watch the news right now. Or
yeah.
World problems they got to work that out in the world, but we're dealing with our own problems right now.
Yeah, let's focus on you, boo boo. Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. What's going on in government? I can't do anything about it. I'm just a small little potato. They're not thinking about me over there, so I gotta focus.
I'm like a fly on the wall. That's
my
about
advice for everybody.
Yeah. But yeah,
you can call it whatever you want, the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America.
Oh yeah, there's that renaming of things. Yeah,
I don't know how that even works.
This is my friend Kathy. She came over to help me with my kitty. Hello.
Oh, hello, Kathy. How are you? Nice to see you.
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Cool.
I'm not sure of Kathy's spiritual beliefs, but yeah, she came to help me with my cat. Yeah.
What's going on with your cat? Your cat going through something?
Well, he needs to be fixed, and I don't really see it as being, like, you're not fixing anything. You're just taking something away. But hey, whatever. But yeah, no, he needs his balls chopped off.
Oh! Like you have a broken cat? Take it back. Oh, how sad.
Yeah.
What's the cat?
No, but you don't want him peeing on the wall.
No, I know I don't want him peeing on the wall. His name is Binks. Yeah. But yeah, no, Binks
well,
is...
that'll stop him a little bit, but that's not going to totally take care of the problem. And I know that I witnessed it this morning with my Shiba Inu, because I knew it was him who's sprayed on his box, because I'm like, wait a minute. The girl dogs don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, and he got fired a long time ago. And I'm like, what are you trying to prove, dude? Is that your box now? Like, yeah, no,
He can
yeah,
smell worse than you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Binks is I have another cat named Baby Kitty, and she's not fixed. But I don't know if she's big enough because she's only a little bigger than a kitten for that.
oh wow,
So, but I don't really want her to end up pregnant either because that might be worse.
yeah. And all of a sudden you got 12 kitties running around the yard. You're like, really? What's going on here?
Well, I'm not sure she'll survive a pregnancy though. Is the problem? Like, I don't mind the kittens. It's just I don't know if she'll survive because she's only a little bit bigger than a kitten herself.
What if they're little tiny kittens, like micro kittens?
That's
Wouldn't that be
like,
cool? They're all small. You're like, what's going on, you guys?
yeah. I mean, I can feel out that she'll probably be fine. It's just, yeah.
Nice.
Just trying to, yeah.
So, do your cats ever see anything or experience anything since they're with you all the time and you're always coming into contact with different energies?
Oh yeah, no, they try to attack things and whatnot. That's because I even get like cat and dog spirits come through and whatnot. So they're just like trying to play and whatnot. I've watched them because they can see them. They're looking right at them and trying to play with them. So I
Yeah,
know that cats
that's
are
cool.
more on the level. The dogs are just like they can't see, so they get growly because they're just like, what is that? Like I feel something and I smell something, but what is that? You know?
Yeah, I've had a couple of dogs that can see pretty good. I had one that would wake up in the middle of the night and start jumping and or trying to nip at the air in the middle of the room. And I would turn the light on. I was like, get it, boy, get it. Where is it? Get it, boy. And he would like just go crazy trying to fight the spirits. I mean, you can't get them, but good effort, good effort.
Yeah, good
But
effort. Good effort.
yeah, I was just wondering
Yeah,
if your
no.
cats do that. Like cats kind of like have really big senses and they can see energy and they can pick up on energy. So
Yeah,
I want
no,
to see if
they see kind of crazy because if you try to look through what they see, they see the world in a very different manner than we do. It's like very 3D type thing. I'm just like, wow, you see like this all the time.
yeah. So what about when an animal approaches you? Are you picking up images and messages from them as well, or like right away, or how do you communicate with them off the top?
The last one that approached me often was the stray cat out here. I named him Ninja because when I was sitting there, he decided to murder 7 rats right next to me, quick, like within seconds. And I was like, "You're a ninja. Your
Mm.
name is Ninja," and he was fine with that.
Oh, wow.
But he came to me when he got hit by a car, and his bum was showing and everything, bleeding everywhere. And then I basically got. I knew that the one thing it wasn't going to kill him to have the broken bone. It was going to kill him to have uh, the infection. So I took care of the infection problem, and then he survived, but he wouldn't let me wrap it, so he walks with a limp now. But he's healed.
That's good. You saved his life.
Yeah.
But what about animal spirits that have already passed?
My cats have come to say goodbye. My dogs said to come. They came to say goodbye as well. Um, they often show me like their toys or whatever else like that they want me to keep on hand. You know, oh no, my phone just fucking.
What's going on? I'm looking at the ceiling. Did I just have a stroke? I'm like laying there on the floor looking up. Well, we're waiting for her to come back. We're talking with Heather Lynn, psychic medium, talking about her experiences, um, the way she handles her readings. We're just talking about animal spirits as well. We know we come across these stories about animals the spirits of animals, which has really brought a lot of light into our research and what we do. So we're waiting for Heather to log back in. Anyway, over the years, I've experienced that myself. Animal spirits coming to me. One of my earliest recollections of seeing spirit was my aunt, her dog Arlo, who passed away when I was a child. I remember spending the night at her house. I think it was about the week Arlo's passing, and I remember seeing this white, grayish kind of cloud-looking thing running back and forth around the house, going up to me or to the couch, and then running down the hallway, and I just got the impression that that was Arlo. So I thought that was amazing. There's animal spirits. I've talked to many psychics over the years, like longtime friend Chip Coffey, who's a well-known psychic medium, also talks about talking to spirits, animals, and he says he hears words, like almost like they're speaking in English, but it's an interpretation of the thought patterning, which I talk about in some of the classes I do for the university. So they're not really speaking that language, but you're picking up the message that way. So it's great to know that that possibility is out there. And it's great to know that I loved animals that are dear to us. Sometimes in many situations, they're closer to us than even our own family. They're there for us, loving unconditionally. And it's great to know that after their life and their journey, that they're at peace and they get to come back and spend some time with you. I hope that when I go to the other side, and I make it sound like it's a big pool, going from one side to the other. When I'm just done here and I go on to the next level, I hope I get to see them all again, because, for so many of us pet lovers, they make a real big difference in our world. So that's what I'm going to leave you guys with. I don't know if Heather's going to be coming back to us because she might have had an issue. But once again, Heather is a great medium, and she's a great psychic. She's going to be coming and speaking at the Pacific Coast Paracon on June 6th and 7th of this year at the Majestic Ventura Theater in Ventura, California. It's been a great location for these events. It's kind of on the central area of California, not too far from LA. Santa Barbara's right there. It's not too far from the Northern California as well. So if you guys get a chance to come check it out, if you get a chance, come and see Heather. So you saw the show, let her know what you think. Ask her some questions. She's very open and friendly with a lot of her questions. And she'll, if you guys need help, she'd be a great person to give you guys some advice. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap the show up because I don't think she's going to be able to set her equipment back up and join us. But we'll catch up with her in the future. So once again, it's great to see you guys and having you guys join me tonight. It's really good to be back. I know I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've got to try to get these records out and meet some deadlines, so I'm always in a hurry. But with that being said, let's move on. And you can find Heather on Facebook, Heather Lynn at Facebook. You should type in Heather Lynn Psychic Medium and she'll come up. So you can always follow me. For any questions for me, you can reach me at mydarkesthourradio@gmail.com. And I will be seeing you guys hopefully at the Paracon. And if not, I will be seeing you guys soon on the next episode of My Darkest Hour. Until then, you guys be safe.
My name is Stefan Brigati, and I've been investigating the paranormal for over 30 years. Come along with me and my team as we take a journey into the unknown. This is My Darkest Hour.